This is the new Dell XPS 13 9370. It's naturally the successor to last year's CES release, the 9360, which I did get to test, although I did not review it. And while those two laptops look very similar, there are some differences. So let's talk about those. So what's new on the outside? Well, they basically reused last year's overall design language. However, it has been refined a bit, so you will notice it's a tiny bit shrunken. It's thinner too. The webcam has been moved to the middle of the bottom bezel, which by the way is still not a good placement, Dell. And next to that webcam there is a face recognition sensor, which is nice to see. And the bezels have actually gotten even thinner than before. The 3200 by 1800 display option has been replaced with a 4K panel that is a bit brighter, has better viewing angles, and displays colors a bit better. And lastly, the last change on the outside, the port selection has been modified. So we went from a pair of full-size USB Type-A ports with one USB Type-C Thunderbolt 3 ports, a full-size SD card reader, and a headphone jack, to a pair of USB Type-C Thunderbolt 3 ports, one USB Type-C 3.1 port, a micro SD card reader instead of the full-size SD card reader, and we do get to keep the same headphone jack. Now this change does limit your options a bit when it comes to peripherals, but Dell has been nice enough to at least supply it with a USB Type-C to Type-A adapter out of the box, which is something that Apple would never do. However, the real difference is on the inside. And here we get the latest of Intel CPUs, that being the 8th generation, paired with your choice of surprisingly still DDR3 RAM, up to 16 gigs that is, your choice of SSD up to 1 terabyte of super speedy M.2 SSD, and the battery has actually been shrunken from 60 watt hours to 52. And so with that battery change we do lose a few hours of use, but it should still last an entire day, which during my testing it has been able to do. So that wasn't a whole lot, right? A few changes on the outside, a new Intel CPU, the same RAM and SSD options, and actually a smaller battery. Yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but the new Intel CPU is amazing. We're going from 2 physical and 4 logical cores to 4 physical cores and 8 logical ones. That's double the core count. This opens up a bunch of possibilities in terms of what you'll be able to do with this laptop that we've never before seen in such a small and portable machine. You will be able to do photo editing, and you will be able to do some basic video editing as well, which I did try on the last generation model, and that was just horrible with those 2 cores, but now it works just fine. So that's a huge improvement. And so the only few compromises that I see with this new update are number 1, the battery life, which has been slightly degraded, number 2, the port selection, and more specifically the removal of the very useful full-size SD card slot, and lastly number 3, the price. It is a bit more expensive. So please do let me know what you think about this laptop in the comment section down below. Also feel free to let me know if you have any questions about this laptop, also of course in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, also feel free to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it and if it helped you. And with that said, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.